Good evening, everyone. My name is Melanie Mijares. I go by Mel, and my pronouns are she, hers, ella. I'm the bilingual community outreach coordinator at San Diego Pride and staff lead for our Pride youth programs. I'm very excited to welcome you all to this year's Youth Art Show panel. The Pride Youth Art Show began with a partnership between San Diego Pride, Art of Pride, and the Trevor Project back in 2017. Fernando Lopez, our executive director, Alex Villafuerte, our marketing and communications manager, and Josh Coyne from the Trevor Project knew that art is a positive form of expression and partnered to create a platform to showcase young local LGBTQ artists. This art show is now an annual event bringing young LGBTQ artists and their supporters together to celebrate them and their creations. In a typical year, the Youth Art Show would have been an in-person event open to all community members at the San Diego Pride office. This year, we are bringing together a group of amazing young artists on a virtual platform to discuss how youth use art as a form of expression and how it empowers them to be resilient. Before we get started with the panel, I would first like to bring up one of our incredible youth ambassadors to the screen, who will be sharing a bit more about the Pride Youth programs.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay and my pronouns are she, they. The Pride Youth programs are organized by and for LGBTQIA+ youth. There are spaces for middle and high school aged youth to come together, find community, share resources, learn, and grow together. We are supported by Pride staff and adult mentors who serve as our trusted LGBTQ+ role models and guides. The Pride Youth Power Hours meet twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. These spaces are a little more casual and focused on a variety of fun and/or educational topics. Some examples include College 101 presentations, TV show watch parties, political event spaces, among other things. We also have the Pride Youth Collective, which happens once a month on the second Saturday of each month from 11 to 1 p.m. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. These focus on leadership development, career exploration, and building community. Some previous topics have included LGBTQ+ student rights and deconstructing Valentine's Day expectations, as well as Fundraising 101. In addition to the above year-round programming, we also have annual ones. For example, this virtual youth art show, our Youth Leadership Academy in November, and when in person, the Youth Zone at the Pride Festival. To sign up or find more information about any of these youth programs, please visit sdpride.org/youth or email youth@sdpride.org. You can also follow us on Instagram at sdprideyouth. Back to you, Mel.
Thanks so much, Jay. If you're a middle school or high school age youth, I really hope to see you at one of our upcoming Power Hours or Pride Youth Collectives. If you're not a youth, please share this information with youth in your life. We would love to have them join us. At this point, I would like to introduce two other Pride Youth ambassadors who will be moderating today's panel. Sophie and Finn, take it away.
Thanks, Mel. Hi, everyone. My name is Sophie. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm a youth ambassador with the Pride Youth programs.
Hey, y'all. My name is Finn. My pronouns are he, they, and I'm also a youth ambassador with Pride Youth programs.
We are so excited to have you join us tonight as we discuss youth art with a panel of youth artists. We'll be discussing the impact that creating art has had on their lives and their communities.
Now, it is my pleasure to welcome our awesome panel of youth artists, Rain, Riley, Jax, and Chelsea. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Let's go around so you can all introduce yourselves. Please share your name, pronouns if you feel comfortable sharing them, age, and your preferred art medium, and how long you've been doing it. Jax, you want to get us started?
Awesome. Yeah. My name's Jax. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm 13 years old. I really enjoy making digital art, which is something I've been doing since last summer. I also traditionally draw, mostly sketches, and I've been doing that really my whole life.
Awesome. Thank you. Chelsea?
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I use she, her pronouns. I'm 15 years old. My preferred form of art is anything with words, so novels, short stories, essays, poetry, and I'm here to talk about the poetry. And I started writing songs in 5th grade, but they were really just cheesy parodies of Disney songs. I've started sort of writing original stuff in the past year.
Awesome. Thank you. Rain?
Hi there, my name is Rain. My pronouns are they, them. I am 12, but I turned 13 this year. My preferred art medium is either digital art or just traditional drawings. I've been doing it for as long as I remember.
Awesome. And Riley?
I'm Riley. My pronouns are he/they. I'm 12 years old. I prefer digital art, but I can do any medium. And I've been drawing my whole entire life.
Nice. So we're going to kick it off with some questions. First question is, what does art mean to you? And Jax, we're going to start with you today.
Cool. Art really is like putting myself onto paper. It's creativity, since there's so much fiction in my brain that sometimes I struggle to put into words. It's just easier quickly putting it down into pictures if I do want to put it into words later. It also acts as a coping mechanism, whether it be escaping reality or venting. And drawing myself idealized is something I do all the time, and it really helps with gender dysphoria as well.
Awesome. And then let's throw that to Chelsea.
Okay, so for me, art is really a method of communication. You can take this huge, big idea like sadness or anger or inequality, and you can make it into pictures or words or movement, and you can convey it to pretty much anyone. And it's just this excellent way to create empathy and communicate really everything.
Nice. Okay, Riley, you want to go next?
Art for me is my way of escape and venting and my emotions. So when I'm in a tough situation, I usually go to paper or digital or anything, in fact, and just express how I'm feeling in the moment.
Cool. And Rain?
For me, art is my way of expressing myself. It's a way I can take a part of myself and put it onto paper or digital or in any form of art. It's just how art knows no boundaries. You can show happiness, sadness. It can really take you anywhere. You can draw yourself in a world you will never imagine yourself in, or just wherever you want to be.
Totally. That's awesome. I'm glad you all have art to be able to express yourselves in that way. It's such an awesome outlet. Okay. Chelsea, I'm going to start with you on this one. When did you start thinking of yourself as an artist?
Oh, only very recently, because, I don't play music or sing or draw. So I never really thought of poetry and writing as a form of art until probably in quarantine recently, that I was like, oh, this is art. This is a way of expressing yourself. And yeah.
Awesome. Jax?
Yeah, my earliest memories of drawing were when I was 5 years old, and I've been drawing since before then. So it's something that I've always had an extreme interest in, and it didn't require a lot of effort because I just did it. I didn't treat it as a task. It was just something that I do, and like Rain said, it's something that knows no boundaries. You can do whatever you want with art, and so I've always considered myself an artist. It's always been my main hobby. I picked up music a couple of years ago, but I've always considered myself an artist, at least when it comes to drawing.
Awesome. Rain.
I don't know when I started thinking of myself as an artist, probably around 10. It's just, it's hard to say it. It's just when I started to think, hey, this is a form of art. Does doing it mean I'm an artist? I would just think of it in that simple way.
Sweet. And Riley.
I've been drawing my whole entire life, like I said earlier, but when I first realized, oh wait, this means something more than just doodling something, was probably around in first grade when like my mom started showing me all the art she did. So I was like, wait a second, you're an artist. I'm doing the same thing you're doing, so I'm an artist too.
That's awesome. Yeah, totally. It's always weird, like doing art and then like at some point it clicking in your brain, like, oh shoot, like, wait, I'm an artist. It's like a totally weird moment to have. And speaking from seeing all of your pieces and hearing yours, Chelsea, y'all are all amazing artists, and I can't wait to show everybody what you did.
And speaking of showing everybody your art, you all submitted beautiful art that you wanted to share with us today. We're going to bring it up on screen. And can you share the title if it has one, and take a minute or two to just tell us a little bit about it? Jax, do you want to start?
Sure. All right, so the title of my piece is We're Not Confused. I created this for Us versus Hate's recent project, but the prompt was creating an anti-hate message. There's a lot of messages that I could have conveyed regarding the LGBTQIA2+ community, especially considering the amount of intersectionality that we have. We face such horrendous violence and hate, but I felt it was most important to convey that we're not confused. That's how we're often perceived, especially folks on the bi spectrum, on the ace spectrum, on the non-binary and genderqueer spectrum. We are very much so perceived as confused, to say the least. And that's something that I thought was really important to address. And our community is super diverse. And so I wanted to show that through the color that I had in my drawing. I have a bunch of pride flags in the background that you can see. And thankfully, I haven't faced as much backlash for being myself as I thought I would when I first started to come out. But all of the backlash that I have received stems from me being confused when I am the most confident in myself that I ever have been, and I know exactly who I am. So it's something that I thought just would be super important to cover.
Thank you so much, Jax. Okay, Rain, do you want to explain your piece?
Absolutely. Sure. My art piece it doesn't exactly have a name, but if I had to give it a name, I would give it Pride Dragons. The meaning of the drawing is showing being who you want to be, being proud, not having to be afraid who you are, basically just being free and being who you want to be. Like, the dragons flying around is supposed to represent just being who you want, carefree, without having to worry, which I hope one day LGBTQ people don't have to worry about having to deal with hate. That is one hope. And yeah, that's what I have to say about it.
Thank you so much. Riley, would you like to explain your piece now?
Sure thing. The title of my piece, I constantly change titles of art pieces, but current name is Pride for Characters. Each of the characters in the drawing is OCs of mine, and each character has different emotions. So kinda they go through challenges with the pride flags. So they kind of all go through the emotions of me realizing, oh wait, I am pansexual and non-binary. How do I feel about that kind of thing? So they go through all those emotions, which makes it easier for me to express.
Thank you so much. Okay, Chelsea, we're gonna play your audio and then you can explain a little bit about it.
Working out some technical difficulties real quick.
Yeah, okay. While we're working on the technical difficulties, I can start to talk about it. It's a spoken word rhyme poem called Avery Ray, and it is about a girl named Avery Ray who everyone in her town, she's gone, and everyone in her town says she was lost in the forest, but maybe that's not entirely what happened. Maybe something else happened to Avery, and it's about identity and belonging and all those good themes. And yeah, I think, okay, something else I can say about it is it's about sort of considering the narrator. A lot of the times we hear stories about queer youth dying or hurting themselves, filled with lots of pain. And I wanted to sort of contradict that by saying, okay, maybe people only want to view queer youth as having pain, but maybe we go off and live better lives or other lives away from all of those things. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. That's really amazing and beautiful. We're gonna try again with the clip really quick.
All right, we're still working on getting that audio to work. So let's just hop to the next question, and then Tyler, let us know whenever if you get that working. Okay, Rain, do you want to tell us a little bit about your artistic process? Like, do you usually plan what you're going to do, or you feel it out?
Most of my drawings start out the same way, which is either me in class, me laying down, me just doing a normal day activity, and having some idea in my head going, hey, I wonder if I could draw this. And then I sit down and I just draw it. It just happens. I just let my mind spill out onto the page or iPad or whatever I'm drawing on.
That's awesome. That's a great way to create art. Riley, go for it.
Usually when my thought process of drawing or the idea of drawing, first usually I'm in class and I'm just have free time. Whenever I have free time, I sit down and relax to music. And usually the songs I'm listening to have something to do with what I plan on drawing. So every time I listen to a song, I play out a scenario in my head and I'm like, this would be a really cool drawing. So then I would draw it.
That's awesome. Chelsea, what about you?
So I draft my poems as songs in my head. So that's how I kind of maintain that beat and melody. And then I will put it down on paper and find a way to read it out that sounds good and natural. Normally I will keep with my original idea. Like I'll have the starting bit and I go from that. And yeah.
That's really cool. I've never thought about like starting poetry in song form. That's awesome. Jax, go for it.
Sometimes when I draw, I have an idea that I want to carry out. Sometimes I have no clue what I'm doing and I just want to draw. So, I mean, it starts with, I'll be sketching and stuff. Sometimes I go and do cleaner line art. Other times I just make the sketch lines black and then that's it. So sometimes it's super messy. Sometimes I go in and color it and make it nicer. Yeah, my notes app is full of ideas that I have when I have ideas but don't want to draw. So it's a nice place to be able to dump ideas.
Nice, that's great. Okay, so for the next question, it's going to be how do you use your art to advocate for your community? And Riley, we're going to start with you.
The way I advocate for my community for my art is usually showing there's more than just pride. There's more than just like earlier, like Chelsea said, there's more than just pain, and like we have other emotions too. We don't always just go through pain. We have also pride in what we're doing.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, Jax, you want to go?
Sure. I mostly use my art because from experience, I know a lot of people would rather just quickly look at an image than read a whole article. I could write for hours, but most likely just looking at a quick image is going to be faster. It's often my art is really heavy in emotion, and particularly surrounding my trans experiences. So I use that to convey just certain messages in general.
Definitely, that makes a lot of sense. Chelsea, would you like to go next?
So I would really agree, like challenging that single story of queerness. Because I'm a writer, I read a lot, and a lot of books do not have the best representation. So really getting that new representation to show that, you know, people aren't just this. We're not just stereotypes. There's a lot more than that.
Definitely, and that's the whole point of this art show, is to kind of prove that next generation stepping up. So thank you. Rain?
How I use my art to advocate for my community is that I show that you should be who you want to be. We're not all crazy. We're not confused. We're just who we are, and we should be proud of that. And that there's always hateful behavior, which always will exist, but we have to try and just be proud, be strong. Everyone's there for each other.
That's awesome. I love that. All right. All of you are awesome artists out here doing the thing, being awesome. Do you have any advice or messages for youth who want to explore their creative side, but something is holding them back? Jax, start with you.
I'd say it kind of would depend on what the problem is, but I'd say just go for it. That's something that I've been fortunate to not have a lot of problems with my art. I know a lot of folks have issues with self-consciousness, and that's not something that you have to share. And you know, everyone's art is beautiful, just the way it is. If money is a problem, then finding cheaper outlets. I've always viewed dollar store crayons are just as beautiful as really expensive art markers, because it only matters how you use them. Also, improvising, finding things, and thinking of how you can use them requires a lot of creativity. So if a creative outlet is what you're going for, you can make anything into art.
That's awesome, Jax. I love that. Riley, go for it.
What I mostly see in artists that takes them down and stop drawing is their art style and them not being happy with it. I'm never like completely happy with my art style, but right now I'm in a strong point. I'm proud of it. You will get there. It just takes practice and time, and I promise it's worth it in the end to just keep going with it.
For sure. Rain?
I have I have some advice. Like, I've noticed a lot of artists have problem with like art block and like figuring out what to draw. And one of my favorite, most helpful ways to deal with it is just go on a walk, listen to music, watch a movie. Something should trigger a good thought, and you'll come up with something. Of course, everyone doesn't always see the beauty in your art, but if you don't think it's great now, it is great. If you think you need to improve, then practice. It's always gonna be gorgeous. It's always gonna be wonderful, but you always have time to improve if you need it.
That's so true. I love that. All right, Chelsea?
I would say the main thing is try not to worry and try not to limit the definition of artist, because right now we see a lot of, oh, you're only an artist if you're this good or you practice this much. But anyone who enjoys making art is an artist. Anyone who gets that happiness from creating art, you are an artist, even if sometimes you might not feel like it or you feel like you're not good enough. Like, your art is good enough, and yeah.
Thank you so much. And speaking of amazing art and getting that out, our amazing tech has got the video set up, so we are going to listen to that now.
Avery Ray got lost in the forest, or at least that's what everyone says. Avery Ray was buttons and jackets and hair cut too close to her head. Her parents loved order and rules and conventions, and of course they're completely distraught. They say Avery Ray, our daughter, at least she will not be forgot. This town's not the same without Avery Ray. the churches and bars. They're all missing something down deep in their bones, like they somehow don't know who they are. Avery Ray got lost in the forest. She wandered and wandered away. Be careful to stick to the narrow and straight, or you'll end up like Avery Ray. Sometimes I think that there's more to the story because Avery Ray was alone. Avery Ray was an outcast in school and it didn't get better at home. Her parents loved order and rules and conventions. They said you should grow your hair long. Avery Ray locked herself in her bedroom and cried from the sunset to dawn. Avery Ray took a bus to the city and she stumbled into a new world. Rainbows and windows and light bulbs and glow sticks and girls with their arms around girls. Avery Ray had been angry and lonely, but now finally she had a choice. Avery Ray chose the light and the city and a voice and a voice and a voice. But this town can't admit that we are the failure, can't admit that we drove her away. Avery Ray got lost in the forest is what we'll continue to say. Avery Ray was angry and lonely, she wandered and wandered away. Be careful to stick to the narrow and straight or you'll end up like Avery Ray.
That was very beautiful. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for submitting this, and thank you everyone else for submitting your amazing art. We're going to segue into the next question, which is, what do you want adults to know about youth artists and their art? And Chelsea, we will start with you.
Yeah, so I would just say, like, we're youth artists and we're here and we're coming to be part of the art world and art culture. And just like, don't be afraid of us. Like, we just want you to like us, and we just want to make art and create art and be part of the art world. And like, we can just all get along. I don't know.
Thank you so much. That definitely, that's a good message to share. Jax, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I actually don't have much to say other than please provide your support if you can, whether that be buying commissions or sharing our art. Our art is super important to us. So whatever you can do to support it, please do.
Definitely. Riley, would you like to talk about this next?
Yeah, sure. What I most struggled with people telling me when I show them art, they're like, "Oh, that's cool, I guess." Be supportive. Show like, "Oh, that looks really cool. How did you do that?" kind of thing. Put in effort, as much effort we did, and showing the art to you, and just being confident enough to be like, "Hey, look, this is really cool. Look what I did." Like, show us that you think it's cool back.
Great. And Rain.
I think that a lot of youths around this time learn that art. Some people learn that art is their way of expression, their way of talking their emotions. If they're not very good with talking to others about it, they might express it through art. And it's good for adults to pay attention because that's a way that some can communicate. That's how they talk. And yeah, it's just how some people express themselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So all of you shared your preferred art medium earlier in the discussion. Are there any others that y'all like to mess around with or dip into? If so, what are they? And we will start with Riley.
I don't know. Way through my art is just showing emotion, pretty much. There's not really much other than that. Just, hey, I feel angry, so here's a piece of one of my characters looking angry or something. It's just a way to show my emotions out and for people to understand that. And an easier way to show it than communicating, because I struggle with communicating. So I'll usually draw out my emotions and then show it to people.
Awesome. Jax, go for it.
Sketching is definitely the easiest for me. It doesn't require a lot of effort. I can just kind of hop onto my sketchbook or my iPad and just add to it or start something new. And I also don't get very far in that process typically. So I have a lot of just not finished artwork because effort. So I do really love painting, but it requires a lot of energy. You have to set up the space, you have to clean up the space, make sure you're not spilling stuff everywhere. So I love painting, but I don't do it as often as I would like to. I'm also really crafty and just like artsy things in general. And music. I play the guitar. I kind of do vocals, kind of. So music is a huge passion of mine as well.
Sweet. Rain.
One second. I sometimes like to do painting. I have some paintings back there. Painting is pretty nice for me because I can just take a brush and just let go with the flow. I also sometimes do models and stuff, but I haven't done that for a while because they just always break and just
I totally feel that. All right, Chelsea.
I do like to draw. I draw little people with stick arms. And I do also write novels and short stories, but yeah.
That's wonderful. And to kind of piggyback on that question, is there any like art medium that you haven't tried yet that you are really looking forward to trying or maybe want to try through quarantine? Let's start with Chelsea.
Probably for me, it's actually spoken word because that was the first really spoken word poem I ever recorded. So recording more and just working on like vocal quality and how it would sound together and the pauses and that kind of stuff.
Definitely, very cool. Rain?
I'm not sure if maybe trying to create more natural art or like with stuff I can find in woods, something like that. That's something I want to try at some point. Or like designing clothes or something. That's something I want to try at some point.
Nice, very cool. Riley?
Probably wood carving. I did that a little bit a while ago back and I really enjoyed it and I would love to get back into it.
That's really cool. Okay, Jax?
There's a lot. I already write a lot. I'm currently participating in a speech contest, but I am not the best at writing poetry. So writing poetry has always interested me. I want to be able to write songs. It's something I really want to work on. Also wood shop. My grandfather is a welder. And while that's different, I do really want that experience with hands-on building. So that's always interested me.
That's awesome. All right, so everyone here watching can get a chance to see more of your art and see what you're up to. Do you have public social media for your art that you would like to share? Rain.
Could you repeat that question, please?
Yeah. Basically, do you have a public social media for your art that you would like to share with everybody watching?
Yes, I have TikTok, and that's really it.
What is your username for that?
Hello, goodbye, Saturn. No caps and just all put together.
Awesome. Riley?
I have TikTok, Amino, and Instagram. And on every single app, my username is mx.motorghost. And in between motorghost is an underscore. So you can find me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jax?
I'm on Instagram. This is my main public account. It's not specifically art, but I do post art there, and I will be opening up commissions soon. So on Instagram, I'm jax.vernon.official.
Awesome. And all of these will be scrolling at the bottom of your screen, so you should be able to see them if you're watching. And Chelsea?
I do not have a professional or personal social media, but my school writing club that I'm a part of has a writing Instagram. And our username is MBHS Writing Club, and it's at the bottom of the screen.
Nice. If there is any questions that people at home are wondering, please put them in the chat so that we can ask them of our panelists. If not, then we're coming up to the end of the live stream, and I would want to thank all of our guests, Jax, Riley, Rain, and Chelsea. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing space with us today.
Alrighty, as we're wrapping up, I would like to share that our Pride Youth programs are possible thanks to the generous support of our donors. If you are able to, please visit sdpride.org/donate to support these amazing spaces for youth like us.
Yes, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at SDPrideYouth. Email us at youth@sdpride.org for more information and share our info with the youth in our lives.
Also, make sure to tune into Pride's next virtual event, Vibe with Pride, on Thursday, March 18th at 6 p.m.
I'd like to thank Pride staff Melanie Maharas and Tyler Vasquez for their behind-the-scenes support. And last but not least, we'd like to thank you for tuning in and spending part of your Saturday evening with us. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and good night, everyone.
And I would like to say a super quick thank you to our awesome ASL interpreters.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you so much.
We appreciate you, and we couldn't do this without you, so thank you.